Welcome to our spooky slumber party.
Grab your favorite snack and get settled in for some spooky story time.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Spooky Slumber Party 9? We're on 9.
Yes, another slumber party.
How are
A
you?
favorite.
Just another night?
I'm good.
Just you and I
Yep.
around the campfire? None of our friends were able to join us
Another
today,
slumber party.
but it's okay. Let's go look at the pretty fire. And last time we hung out for the spooky slumber party, we discussed Polybius, the game that you were talking about. You were
Yep.
our storyteller, and so because you were our storyteller, I guess it's my turn for storytelling. And I did mention last time that my topic was kind of the random topic that I selected and the random topic that you selected kind of have similarities that align with each other, which I think
Right.
is kind of crazy. And I'm actually,
Of course it does.
I can't wait to talk about my topic. But before we do that, just a heads up. My topic for tonight is extremely dark. So for those that are listening, if you are mentally not able to listen to this episode, please feel free to skip it. I'm covering a very dark internet challenge or game that was called the Blue Whale Challenge, which led a lot of children to self-harm and even suicide. So if you or someone that you know is struggling or in a crisis, help is available. You can call, like here in the United States, you can call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org in the United States and Canada. Or if you're in the UK, calling 111. And all of these services are free and confidential and available to you 24/7. It will connect you with a mental health professional or a trusted adult. And it's a very, very important step to staying safe and feeling the support that you need. And for those that aren't within those things, there is a list of international resources that you can find at local support centers on the International Association Prevention's website, so the IASP website. So I'm putting this in the very beginning of this topic because I feel like it's very important. It's a very, very dark topic, and I feel like it's very important that I cover it in the very beginning so that people are aware of what this topic's going to be about. And I'm trying to, offer sources for people that might need it. So I just wanted to start with that. I usually don't start so heavy in the beginning of a topic because, usually our topics are light and not not as intense, but this to me is a very serious and very intense story.
Absolutely.
And it's the important, people are like, oh, so why are you bringing it up in a story? Because I feel like it's important to know. So it's not because I am supportive of the actions that took place in this, but I feel like it is knowledge that is important, that needs to be known, and that is why I want to talk about it, not because of entertainment, but because I feel like it's important information. And if I can use this platform as a way to help people understand and help people that are struggling, I will bring it up there. To me,
Right.
It's an important topic despite it being dark and sad and depressing. And I couldn't find a way to make it fit in the regular podcast. And I felt like this is a place that is something that I can talk about this. And I feel like it is an important topic.
Absolutely.
So that's just in the beginning of this episode. So we're just going to get into it. But thank you for listening to us. And like I said, I will probably put the description also in the description of the videos on YouTube and on Spotify. I'm probably going to upload those sources in the descriptions so that there's an easy way for people to see it if they don't want to go back to the beginning of the video and wait as we're chatting through everything. So I'm going to put the sources available on our description. So I just wanted to me that was important. So
I think I agree. Absolutely.
So for Spooky Slumber Party number 9, it's my turn to tell a story. And let's start with Meso. Have you ever heard of the Blue Whale Challenge?
I think I actually have heard of the Blue Whale Challenge.
Okay, so it's really, really dark, and just letting people know ahead of time, this does mention health, like this topic does involve self harm and suicide. So, like I said, this is like, please, please, if you're not mentally able to listen to it, please, please feel free to skip this episode. If you are here listening, thank you for listening, and let's get into it. So, the Blue Whale Challenge was actually something that started in Russia in 2013, but it actually didn't become really like it didn't start to become more and more known or talked about until unfortunately 2015. So this is like this started in Russia in 2013. Accordingly, like
Right.
allegedly it started in Russia in 2013. Some people claim that this is just an internet hoax. Others claim that these are genuine stories and genuine cases that happen, and other people see it as the truth and see it as someone else manipulating children to do things that are harmful. So, not like
Right.
it's pretty
Which is not
intense.
shocking, unfortunately.
So, for those of you guys that don't know what the Blue Whale Challenge is, it's basically the concept of this game. It's terrible. I'm putting quotations on game because this is not a game. Playing with people's mental health and playing with people's lives is not a game. It is not. So, it consisted of a series of tasks being assigned by administrators known as curators. Um, and it's a series of actions that take 50 days prior to ending, and the game ends with you know the final challenge having the child commit suicide. So it starts off basically in that 50-day period. It starts off with something simple in the beginning, like drink coffee and stay awake all night,
Right.
and they'll have you do that for a few days, and then drink coffee, stay up all night, and watch a really, really scary movie. And then it gets into even darker of um uh put on your headphones and put heavy metal music on the highest volume and have it blasting in your ears so that your ears would pretty much explode with how loud it is, just like it's like the
Right.
discomfort of that noise to burning
Escalating,
yourself.
yeah.
It starts to escalate as the days progress. It gets more into the terrible, and some of it involves public humiliation, some of it involves self-harm such as burning yourself, etc., and then it ends with the player, quote unquote, player, aka the child exposed to this, um,
Right.
to commit suicide. So that is what the Blue Whale Challenge is in the
Ooh-wee.
shortest description that I can have. And this is why I put that
Yeah.
notice in the beginning of
Absolutely,
this,
yeah.
because, like I said, it's really,
Dark, yeah.
really dark. So the only reason that this started to blow up because was in like so this started in 2013, but like it didn't even start to get taken seriously or blow up until 22nd of November 2015. So think about that. 2013 till 2015. It wasn't really like,
Years,
yeah,
yeah.
several years, right? So on the 22nd of November in 2015, a girl named Rena, who lived in southeastern Russia, posted a selfie, and in the photo is of her standing with a black scarf wrapped around her mouth and nose. She's actually flipping the camera off, and there looks to be dried blood covering her finger. And the photo caption read, "Yeah, bye." And the next day, she took her own life after posting this picture. And so
Oh,
her death was discussed in certain types of chat rooms, which were involved by Russia's largest social network, VKontakte. I don't know. VKontakte, also known as VK. And these forums were places where teenagers met and talk about everyday things like school, classmates they fancied, or into the darker parts: depression, loneliness, suicide. And then it further reached into online forums or groups about folklore and scary stories. So it first started off in like in some kind of
Like a
social,
creepypasta type.
yeah, kind of thing, but it's their own version. And it was started in a large social network called vKontakte, or VK, whatever it's called. And so, um, you know, parents didn't understand why Rena took her own life. People didn't understand why her behaviors changed before her, time of passing. And so that was Rena. But then on Christmas Day in 2015, so not more than a month later, a 12-year-old named Angelina, I'm not going to say her last name, I'm just going to say Angelina, killed herself in the Russian city of Ryazan. And it was a little over a fortnight later, and so did another girl named Diana. And she's a teenager in the same city, and she also died not long after Angelina did. So Angelina and Deanna died in close proximity, and they're from the same city.
Right.
And so the parents of these girls were trying to figure out what would cause their daughters to, you know, exit the
Do
world.
something like that, yeah.
And so they started to examine their daughter's online activities, their online accounts, and they both found that their daughters were in the same online groups. And these groups mentioned something about the Blue Whale Challenge, and they even saw drawings of the first girl, Rena, like just drawings that other people have done or drawn of that girl being posted all over this network. So yeah, so these parents discovered the blue whale challenge. They didn't quite understand what it was, but it was often mentioned, and there was like lots of pictures of blue whales in these forums, and they even saw art or sketches of Rena Palenkova all over these forums too, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
So it wasn't until May 26th that the speculation about blue whales and suicide started to become a part of a national conversation throughout Russia. More cases of children dying suddenly, and it was rumored that they were partaking in this blue whale challenge. So a lot of people would wonder why a blue whale, like why the symbol or why this is called the blue whale. But there's actually quite a few sources that link blue whales to suicide, because a lot of people see whales as solitary animals who seem a bit sad because they're by themselves, and they often beach
Right.
themselves to die. So they'll beach themselves and die. So it has become like a correlation that blue whales and suicide are kind of, linked in some way or another because
Right.
of the symbolism of the whale. So on May 16th, um, an article was published by a journalist named Galina Mersalieva in the Novasia Gazette or Gazeta. In this article, she discovered, discussed her discovery of the dark phenomenon that's happening to children throughout Russia. And in the article, it discusses that there were about 130 child suicides that occurred around Russia between
Oh
November
wow.
2015 until April 2016. So within that time frame, there was over 130 child suicides. And then she discovered these online groups and forums that would then announce and track the new deaths, kind of like a death toll, So they would be like, they would add like the new victims or the new, like on this forum, they would just like add all the different
Right, they
victims.
tally them up.
Yeah. So I disgustingly marked it as the death toll.
Right.
She then discovered that there was a huge community in the social network VK or VK Contacte, and it would encourage children to commit suicide. In the article, it further discussed how these children would be called fat, ugly, stupid, and even losers, breaking down their confidence, their mental health, their sense of self is being destroyed and torn to pieces by them being exposed to people verbally abusing them, sending them messages, posting things about like how they're stupid and how they're so like they're like there's like
Right,
basically
like online harassment.
online bullying. Online
Yeah.
bullying happening to these children. So it was then discovered that the Blue Whale Challenge was allegedly started back in 2013, but soon then spread to other countries like Ukraine, India, and even in the United States. So this challenge had made it past outside of Russia and has managed to seep its way into um, kids of India, kids in Ukraine, and the United States. And there's actually a couple cases that happened here in
Right.
the United States about this. So soon the panic was spread outside in Russia. And then in Georgia, in the United States, a 16-year-old girl killed herself. And it was only later, when her family had learned about this blue whale challenge, that they realized that the significance of her final paintings before she died. She painted a bunch of blue whales. So prior to her
Oh shit.
committing suicide,
Right.
prior to her committing to that, she was painting blue whales, and her parents had no idea and didn't understand. They just
That's
thought that she was into whales and she was painting whales, and they didn't
oh
learn about the blue whale challenge until they
right.
like once they learned about it, and they kind of put
The pieces together, yeah.
and realized that. And so then after that, another suicide happened from a boy named Isaiah. I don't want to say their last name, and they were also in the United States. And then there was a 19-year-old in India and two other Russian girls, Veronica and Yulia. And a few days before they died, they had posted images of a blue whale on their Instagram accounts. So a person that was learning about this decided that they would go and like kind of would go on their own and do their own research by participating in the Blue Whale Challenge.
Okay.
I
Undercover, all right.
I remember reading this article a long time ago, and it actually gave me the steps, like the steps that they were given to her. Like she would put step one was this would happen in day one. Like there was a whole, I cannot find it, but I remember reading it. But there was a whole article written by this person who gave a day-to-day breakdown of what she experienced while participating in the Blue Whale Challenge.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but I cannot find this. And when I tried to look up like the instructions of how to play the blue whale game,
It probably is pretty censored.
thankfully the internet, thankfully, like I was just trying to figure out like the first step of the blue whale challenge, and the internet, Google was like popped in that blue whale like it gave a brief description of what the blue whale challenge was. It was like a dangerous internet phenomenon, and it then mentioned that the information that I was seeking out could not be found due to the phenomenon being associated with extreme self-harm and dangerous activity.
Right.
And then it then linked me to several suicide prevention sources. So when I researched this on the internet to try and figure out like the step by step, because I was literally trying to find the article, but then they removed it. And after analyzing it, I'm like, I can understand why they removed it, because like they're trying to stop it. So why would they put a step by step breakdown on the internet of what happened? But this person did some research on their own and like did a breakdown of their day-to-day experience. And now I think I found the same person, but the article that they published is very, very simplified. It had information that was relating to that article that I was talking about before, but it didn't give the steps, it didn't give the breakdown or anything like that. So I think I found the same person that posted the original article, or someone that read that article probably published another article in relating to that didn't mention the steps. I don't know, but it was removed from the internet.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah. So, but from what I can remember, the child would post in one of those online forums, and they would post that they would like to play or partake in this challenge, right? And then
Mhm.
if one of the game curators, I put quotes on that and very emphasis on game curators, they're disgusting human beings. Um, if they saw it,
Right.
they would then reach out to the participant, and the so-called curator would then set the player on the first task of this 50-day task on this challenge. And then on the last day, the user would then post a picture of a whale on whatever social media they are, and then the next day they would take their own life. So, like I said, the challenges, like the step one is very simple. It starts off with like drinking coffee, then like it would escalate. So it escalated within that 50-day period. It would just get worse and worse and worse to the point that, yeah, they would just like, I can understand why they're so destroyed by consuming this that they end up, you know.
Right.
So the suspects, see, now we're getting into the part that
Dun, dun.
these are the curators or the people that ran the challenge. And so in November 2016, a 21-year-old named Philip Budakin was arrested. He was charged with inciting teenagers to commit suicide. Budakin appeared to admit culpability. He told a Russian media outlet, "There are people, and then there is biodegradable waste. I was cleansing our society of such people. Sometimes I start to think that it's wrong, but in the end, I had a feeling I was doing the right thing." He was trying to cleanse society from what he thought these people were biodegradable waste.
Jesus
So
Christ. Yeah.
So, like, I'm already angry. Like, doing the research for this,
Right.
I was so mad because I remember how terrible this story was. And yeah, but the fact that part of him was like, yeah, it's wrong, but I was doing it for bettering our, our race. It's
Right.
disgusting to me. So,
Eugenics type shit.
yeah, it's disgusting. But yeah, he basically said that. So he liked computers, and he was aspiring to be a producer of Witch House, which is an electronic music genre with occult themes. And then he was a former psychology student, so he had experience on manipulation because, you know, studying psychology, you see how the brain works and see how certain things affect the person and why the person has problems, right? So he was a former
Right.
psychology student, and the impression that was given about him, that was given by the media, was that he had used a highly developed tactic to manipulate teenagers into killing themselves. He said that he had created a game starting far back in 2017 under the name F57, combining the sound of the start of his name and then Philip and the last two digits of his phone number. On the 10th of May 2020, he pled guilty and was sentenced to only 3 years in prison.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow. Of course. Typical.
yeah, yeah. It's fucking disgusting. All right. So, despite being arrested, the issue still remained and still remains to this day that there were some teenagers that were drawn to this challenge due to something already existing within them that led for them to seek a way out. So there was already some kind of problem beforehand. And one of the things that they said is um like despite you taking this person, unfortunately, like, this is something that exists in society. Unfortunately, Russia's suicide rates were extreme are extremely high among the younger people. It actually has one of the highest rates of adolescent suicide in the world. And unfortunately, you can lock a man up, but in the end, the causes can't be locked or prevented. Being a young
Right.
child, influenced by your surroundings, influenced by what you're consuming on the day to day through media, through television, through being exposed to the dark facets of the internet, and then further being exposed to the cruelty of some people who seek out like a way to harm people, others, you know? There's people out there that exist that seek out to harm
Yeah,
others.
they absolutely. And the internet's only made that an easier way, easier to do that.
Yeah. So, despite them capturing the person that claimed that they started this game, the disease still exists in society to this day, and it's absolutely depressing and sad. I know. So,
It really is.
and then in June 2017, postman Ilya Sidorov was arrested in Moscow, also accused of setting up a blue whale group to encourage children to self harm and ultimately die by suicide. He claimed to have persuaded 32 children to join his group and follow his commands. So a copycat decided to pick up where the other left off and started their own Blue Whale Challenge game. And then in June 2018, a Russian financial analyst named Nikita Nerenov was arrested for allegedly masterminding the Blue Whale game. Nerenov is suspected of grooming 10 underage girls in order to bring them to suicide, two of whom were aged 14 and 17 and are known to have survived. As a financial analyst, Nerenov has been described as a computer expert who held a large amount of contempt for teenagers, believing that they were wicked and deserved to die. Police
Jesus Christ.
reports claim that Nernov involved in the Blue Whale game, that Nernov's involvement in the Blue Whale game was his hobby. So those are
Yeah,
people.
that's a crazy hobby to have, dude.
So in conclusion, it is important that as a parent or family member who has an easily influenced child in their life, it is important that you actually pay close attention to what your child or family member is being exposed to. You have to be aware of what they are consuming. You need to be more open to talking to your child day by day about what their day was like and pay attention. Actually pay attention to what these kids are saying. Kids are exposed to strangers online and social media, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and even gaming platforms such as Roblox. Like the internet is accessible and easily accessible anywhere nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in kids being exposed to the internet, they are exposed to other people on the internet. And some of those people don't have good intentions. So it is important that, like, it is important to pay attention to what your child is consuming, to what your child is doing, and to know what your
Please.
child is online doing. Like, you need to know. Like, I know that some people don't
You
want to be
really
the
do, yeah.
helicopter parents. I know that some parents don't want to be the uncool parent who's too strict on their lines. And we were the ones that were complaining about our parents being crazy paranoid about us staying the night at a friend's house, or being online talking to strangers on chat rooms, like that. But it is important because there are people out there that want to hurt your child, your family member. There are people out there that want to do it, and they can easily access them through the internet. So you have to be aware of what your children is doing online.
Right. And children are so, easily manipulated. I mean, of course they are. They're children. They're not, they don't generally know better than to believe people, at face value or to give out information. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so dangerous. People really need to, and like, talk to your kids about it, if they're depressed and stuff too. Like,
Yeah,
talk to your freaking kids, man.
it's important for you to know, like, talking to them day to day is very important because
Mm
it
hmm.
will then show something. Like, if there's a behavior that changes and you are aware that there's a change in behavior, that will help you be aware of, maybe I should pay closer attention and see if there's something weird going on, just to protect your child. Like, it's important. And so right now, we have people that still post pictures of their children. Right now, we are discovering more and more disgusting information on Epstein files, or what happened
Right.
in children's television shows, to like just the dark side of the music industry and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
We are learning and being more and more exposed to things that were hidden from us or that they tried to hide from us. We are getting exposed to it. And this is why I am doubling down on making sure you're communicating with your child and making sure that
Mhm.
you're aware of what your child is exposed to and making sure you're aware of who their friends are online. And please, please, please make sure that you tell your child that it is very important never to give their names, never to give their addresses, and never to give any personal information to their friends on the internet. Like, there's people that play Fortnite together, and I'm not saying everyone on the internet is bad, but there are enough bad people on the internet that it is
Yeah.
important that you instill to your child the importance of protecting their private information, protecting their name, protecting their personal lives, because you don't want
Yes.
random strangers who are out to harm your child to have more access to add to their tools that they have in manipulating your child and getting what they want from your child. So
Yeah.
that's why I felt like it was important to bring this up in this channel, to bring this up and talk about it,
Absolutely
because
agreed.
I feel like this is important, and especially with what we're discovering right now in what's happening in society and what is like being ignored. It's really important that you know this. And for me, this felt like a very important topic. So,
Oh, absolutely.
we're learning day to day that the world is much darker, more cruel, and more disgusting than we have thought. Between the horrifying information that we've discovered in the Epstein files, to the dark side of child TV, to the dark side of the music industry, the world is not a safe place for children to roam around without
No.
proper guidance. So please keep that in mind and do what you can to make sure that the child who is relying on you to help them safely navigate into adulthood is being paid attention to. It's really important that you
Yeah,
do
but so
that
you gotta help
extra
keep your
work,
kids safe, dude.
because like hearing like when I learned about this, I was absolutely disgusted, and that's why I'm all like, and I was like literally just looking at the news recently, and I'm just like, ugh. And this was the topic that came up, and like, I'm gonna talk about this. Like, it's the only thing I can do right
Yeah,
now.
and it
Oh,
was already bad, and the internet and the speed at which technology has advanced has only made it easier, unfortunately, and more accessible for predators to reach out to children and be around children, and not even just that, but like the self harm stuff, the cyberbullying. Just talk to your kids, explain to them that life isn't like it's not a movie, it's not a joke, you know. Um, like you said, like don't tell them how important it is to keep their photos and their information to themselves for and while they're kids at minimum. You
yep,
know, even adults posting their information is not a smart idea most of the time, to be honest. We are all probably a little too exposed, but
yep,
especially for children, they are at risk, and it's only made it easier.
yep.
So,
So that is the blue whale challenge. Did you know all that information about it, Miso? Did you learn anything new? What did you know of the blue whale challenge?
I knew that it was an alleged internet challenge going around where kids would self harm or kill themselves. I did not know about the like all the different specific cases where it originated or anything like that. So it was pretty much just like the very basics of it. I understood, but I definitely learned a lot about it for sure. That's it's crazy. It's kind of that not mass hysteria, but just the hypnotic effect of the internet, I guess, really, for some people, like, especially again, like children, like being able to convince people in a cult like manner to hurt themselves. And this, and it's not just the Blue Whale Challenge, there's a lot of different things where people get this actually something that happened on, oh my goodness, what is that? Roblox with, it's been all over the news. A little girl, I think,
Yep,
uh, hurt herself or killed herself because there was an online predator on Roblox grooming her into like self harm and all kinds of crazy shit. So
There's a lawsuit going on against Roblox as well for
Yeah, they have not.
parents. Yeah.
Even if something says it's for kids, do not trust it and
Nope.
watch what your kids do on there and make sure it actually is a safe thing because most time it is not.
Nope.
Roblox is a stunning example of that.
Yeah, I was so shocked to find out about the guy that apparently caught a few of
Yeah.
the pedophiles on there, and his account was blocked for capturing them. You know what I mean? Like a person that was trying to do some kind of good, apparently his account was banned after he had exposed 5 of them. He managed to like catch 5 of them, and I think he like met up with 5 of them and had them like arrested or something like that. I can't remember. These are all alleged. Don't take like do some of your own research, but this is what I learned, was that he caught a few people, and then Roblox found out what he was doing, and instead of them taking the fact that taking into consideration that their platform was not safe, they ended up banning the person that was trying to
Yeah, I
expose
remember
this.
hearing about that. Yeah.
Yes. So,
They don't care as long as it comes down to, manipulation, money, all kinds of shit, right? Like,
yep.
what horrible thing does that person want to achieve? And most time it's money. And if that means putting kids in danger, they don't give a shit.
Nope. So parents, please, please be aware of what your child is consuming on the internet. Please, make it a habit to have a conversation and check in with your child every day,
Yes.
and make sure that you pay attention to body language and cues to see if there's behaviors that they're displaying that are out unusual, and just pay extra close attention to your kid and protect them from whatever terrible person is trying to harm them, if any. But I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
like kids grow up and they change,
No.
but be aware of the differences on their day to day, and just be more attuned
Yeah.
to what your child is doing. It's important.
And you
And
can do it in a balanced way without coming off as, you don't have to feel bad for being in their business. You don't have to be, there's some people that are very aggressive with their kids and their information. They like, invade their privacy in the sense of like, I made you, I get to look at this type shit. You can go at your kids in a way to where they will understand why you are wondering what they're doing and keeping an eye on what they're doing. You just have to be open and honest with your kids.
yep. So, I figured that this story was very, very, very fitting for the spooky slumber party, because the internet is a very, very scary place. And so
Mm-hmm.
I figured this was a time to let it out. But that's what I have for the topic. What'd you think?
Woo! Like you said, it was heavy, it was dark, but it was very informative, and I really, I've heard a lot about different ones, so I thought it was really interesting to hear about kind of one of the original starters of these horrible challenges.
Yep. It's also made
I
me
thought I
more.
thought you did great.
Yeah. Like I was like, remember that time on TikTok where kids would eat Tide Pods? It's like the same
Yeah,
fucking
and
shit,
same
man.
concept. Yeah,
Oh my
same
god.
concept, different font.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I'm sorry, I've cursed a lot, but I have a lot of
Oh,
feelings
so
and
have I. But you
emotions
know what? It's
attached
our
to
spooky
this.
slumber party, and we're cuss if we want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
you can't tell us what to do.
Yeah. I make sure that the ratings properly placed on our accounts.
Remember when we
So.
said to watch what your kids were watching? We
uh,
swear a lot, so if you don't like it,
yeah. But yeah,
don't
so
listen to it with your kids.
that was the Blue Whale Challenge. Again, I will post resources for anyone that might need it on the descriptions here. If you or a friend is going through a hard time and is struggling or in a crisis, please make sure that you can text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org for US and Canada, or you can call 111 in the UK. These services are free and confidential. They're available 24/7, and they will connect you to a mental health professional or a trusted adult. and it is a vital step to making sure that you're safe and finding the support that you need. And then for those that aren't listed, the international resources are posted over in the International Association of Suicide Prevention website. And so they'll have international resources there, and you can also find local supports for your area on that website. So please, please, please take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and know that, everything is like life is a series of ups and downs, and every time there's a down, there's always going to be a way up. So
That's right.
never
Yep.
think that, so just keep that in mind, that yes, life, part of growing is going through challenges, but you need to remember that yes, it may seem dark and hard right now, but it will get better. And that's just how
It's not
life
forever,
is.
yeah.
It's how we grow, it's how we develop. So just know it's not forever, but you being gone is forever, and that is very, very sad. So please, please, if you need these sources, use them. And just know that we love you and we're here for you. All right, Meso, do you have anything else to say, or do we want to wrap up?
No, I think that was a perfect ending.
Wow. Yeah, sorry for bringing the spirits down. I usually bring something light and fun, but
sometimes spooky and interesting stuff isn't always the cheeriest, but you know what? It's good information to have. And we, got some good resources, and I think it was a great conversation to have.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and roast some marshmallows on this fire. I hope we can get some sugar-free
right.
marshmallows so you can eat some with me. And
oh yes.
Are you ready to do our outro?
Oh yes, I am.
All right. So you already know it's just you and I around the fire. So you're gonna have to say the first part, and then I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to say the first part. You're gonna have to say the second part, but you're doing the whole second part. Just remember, and we're gonna try and do this in the first try.
I can do this. That's right.
First try. We're gonna get it.
You're doing good.
Yeah, you ready? We'll stay thick.
And you stay spooky.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.